All right, so it's just a hair before 6:30 on June 5th. We're going to call the meeting to order, and please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So I think this is our final, we got all the audio visual stuff in, so just I'll not say a warning, but we don't have anyone here. We've got someone remotely recording the whole meeting, so that's great. We'll start with the warrants and let's see, we'll do the general warrants first, Jonathan.
Okay. Have the general fund warrant dated June 1st, 2023 in the amount of $66,941.76. Nothing really of a big ticket item on here. I make a motion, we approve this warrant.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Pass and payroll, please.
Okay, the payroll warrants, for this round, we have 3. And the first one, we're gonna run these all in one motion. So the first warrant is dated May 19th, 2023, and that's in the amount of $21,212.27. And the second warrant is dated May 26th of 2023. And that one is in the amount of $39,665.85. And that reflects all the agency checks that get paid out. And the third warrant, I'm guessing that has to do with the number of weeks in May, is dated June 2nd. Usually we have two payroll warrants. This meeting, we have 3. And that's in the amount of $25,971.65. And I would make a motion that we would approve these warrants as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So several of the other warrants, Brendan is not here today, so I'll do those. First one is a stormwater utility warrant. The amount of $5,148, $5,000 of which is for NRPC, and $148 for the water environmental or environment. Entertain a motion to so move that. Thank you. Second.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Perfect. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Next one is the Stone House warrant, and for $800 for Joel and Barton, which I see as a musician over at the park. Entertain a motion to pass that warrant. So, thank you. Second, Jack.
Yep.
Thank you. Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Jack, you said aye?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, next one is the Fire Department Reserve Fund, and this warrant is for $2,180.55. This is for Auto Creations LLC. And I was speaking with Anna about it. That's the deductible for some work that needed to be done on one of the fire trucks. Correct. Get entertain a motion to pass that warrant. So moved. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thanks, sir. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, sir. Need them all today. Yeah. Next several are actually for similar project, for the audio visual project. They're coming from different cost centers. So the first one is the Capital Projects Reserve Fund. Amount is $11,186.18. And again, that's for Audio Visual Environments LLC. And again, that's for all the audio visual work we have here. Can I do all of them at the same time, Carrie? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that, they're all, okay. The next one is also dated June 5th. This is the capital equipment warrant. $7,649.27 from the Audio Visual Environment LLC. Again, all for the same project. Next one is a capital equipment CD warrant. Does indicate the CD at the bank will be closed out. is for $15,985.56. Again, that's for the same project. Last one is, I'll do those three first, because the last one has a separate one. So again, I'll entertain a motion, please, for all three of those, capital equipment warrant, CD, and the capital projects reserve. Thank you.
I'll second it.
That was Jonathan and Jeff.
I have a question about it.
Discussion, sure.
So Carrie, did the work that they did come in on the quote, or was there, how did we do on?
On the budget?
On the budget for the
Mhm.
bid versus getting?
Good, it came in. I think it was almost exactly what they projected.
Okay.
It was a lot. It was like
Yeah.
almost $47,000.
Yeah, we knew that though.
We did,
Because I think, didn't we have 50,000 for it? Is that the,
yes,
so we're a little under then? So
a
far.
little bit.
So far?
We should celebrate it.
Don't say that.
Okay, so far, that's,
All right,
okay.
thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Any other, comments or questions, discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Last one is the impact fee warrant. The total is $15,098.35, of which $10,598.35 is again for the audio-visual environment. And $4,500 is for the Rabbit Track Trail Works. What the hell is that? Let's see, what, do you know what that one is, Carrie?
Town Forest,
The-
that was the
yeah.
beginning of that project that Andy Crossman's been working on. So
Okay,
they gave
one-
them a little money in advance, we're gonna give them the next payment, when they finish the work.
Okay, this is the one talked about.
Yeah, the expansion of the town forest for mountain,
Okay, thank you.
that Andy got, match money exponentially more than we're putting in, so it's good. Good way to spend a little bit of it.
Perfect. All right, any, entertain a motion for that, please? Thank you. Any seconds? Second. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Jack, you said aye as well. Thank you. All right, that's all warrants. Sign notes afterwards. And you see, before we get to them, do you want to, amend the agenda now, Karen?
I think that would be a great idea.
Okay, and then we'll go to.
Can you hear
minutes
me,
after
Jen?
that.
Wasn't sure if I was talking directly at you, if you were.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so we would ask that you amend the agenda to include, a just short discussion, hopefully about a bike and ped grant application, with 7 North. Megan sent you, a draft letter of support, and we're hoping it's, that you support that application. It's 80% grant funded if it's awarded, and 20% half match. And
Thank you.
to your point, you found out that there's a max on the grant, so I think we're talking at most of $10,000 commitment from the town.
Yep, so it'll take, so we'll make that E, 5E, is that right? The
Correct.
agenda, okay. Motion for that? So moved. Thank you, second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so next we'll go to the minutes. And I think we've got 2 sets here. The first one is, especially if you were here, the very long meeting on May 15th, when we had folks from the state up. I looked through it, everything looked pretty good. Just want to say thanks to Jen also. Their minutes are very, very detailed. So she did a good job. I think everybody in the gist of what everybody said who came to speak. So take a motion to pass those sets of minutes. So moved. Thank you. Second? Second. Thank you. Any discussion? Any changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The second set was the meeting we had just prior to that regular meeting, which was also on May 15th. Against just a short executive session. And I would ask for a motion to pass that. So. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you. Or any discussion, first of all? All set, Jack?
Oh, yeah, I just was not there. No, I didn't realize.
Then I guess we won't have you vote. Oh, that's.
Yeah, you'll have to go.
That's right. You weren't there. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you. Let's see, and next up, not to be forgotten again, public comment from anybody. Anyone like to come up and make a public comment, either here in person or on Zoom? Mr. Mr. Bray, please come on up, test out the new audio visual equipment here. Please.
I'm David Bray, and I'm just to follow up on the discussion we had a couple of meetings ago when we discovered that St. Albans was going to be the epicenter for the solar eclipse. And a lot of folks have been talking about possibly housing some of these tourists that are going to be coming in. I think that there is a challenge we have with the, I don't know if it's zoning, but it has to do with the Airbnb. I know around the lake frontage, you can only have an Airbnb so many feet back from the lake. After that, I'm not sure. I didn't know if there's going to be any further discussion about authorizing a one-timer to let anybody rent their house or a room during that time. It seems like a small economic opportunity for a few people.
I don't think we regulate short.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
We call it short-term rental in the bylaw. I'm not aware of any regulation. Unless it's like in the water, but like, I know a couple that are sitting pretty close.
I had a friend of ours that applied for one a couple of years ago. She was gonna use it to supplement her retirement income, but her neighbor in front of her was able to license for the Airbnb, but because she was back so many feet from the lake, she was denied the ability to be able to do that.
But not from the town, but from Airbnb. It wasn't a town regulation. We don't regulate those kind of things.
She said she came to the town.
Unless it was like another accessory dwelling on the same.
Oh,
parcel.
could be that.
No,
Like
it was,
there's those- I'm not aware of any.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I mean, you know, if it's, unless there's something,
If there is a
some kind of state
regulation,
or regulation or
we
something.
can, you guys can do an interim zoning law and it only lasts, I mean, it's temporary, right? So it can last for 3 years. We can look into it.
Then check with our zoning girls and see what they say.
Yeah, see if they
Yeah.
are aware of something.
Megan has been working on trying to get a readiness a little bit better for that, and the fire chief is working on that with, the city and town are meeting regularly now to plan for,
Yeah.
possibly being inundated by people that, you know, like triple and quadruple our population there for a day. So we'll look into that too. We're doing emergency planning and separately, Megan has been looking into it, so I'll ask her about that.
Okay. Because I talked with Tim Smith briefly too, and they're thinking too, a lot of people might head to the Collinsboro complex, you know, just parking. Be out in the field and see it. So, yeah, it'll be interesting what where people end up coming, but you're right, you know, we want to be ready for it. I know the Dave and other folks are working on the public safety part and Chief Cross too, so I'll give some. A head tax? So you mean like set up guard stations and customs?
I was thinking just the opposite.
Oh,
You and Al can debate.
So what happens if there's wind current? We sell the beds.
The other thing I just want to compliment you folks on, I saw for the first time or a couple of meetings ago that you do that month, or I don't know if it's a monthly, but a quarterly newsletter. Thought it was great, very
Yeah,
informative.
yep.
So thank you whoever put that together. Congratulations.
yeah, we've been talking about that for
Yep.
almost a year and
We've
then.
done it before
yeah,
COVID,
Megan-
and then it
yep.
kind of got, Megan was really spearheading that, and she's planning for another one, to be out at the beginning of July. She's already working with department heads about what to put in that.
Yeah.
So if you have any ideas, feel free to send her them. We're trying to make it as useful as possible and not be a nuisance.
Okay, no, I thought it was great.
Yep.
Just the last question, it's actually directed to Al. I didn't know if there was any new news from the Act 250 people on Grisbrook Road.
No, we did not, I will choose the, communicate with them. So I asked the,
But it's okay if the Grisbrook people try to communicate directly with the Act 250. Sometimes more squeaky wheels.
Yeah, well.
Mhm.
You want, you can't inundate them with everybody else coming. I think the entity, the primary, is supposed to be that. And I think you have to do it in a manner that encourages them to respond to it as opposed to. Yeah. Saying, I need your help. And so that is my little advice. They're inundated, exactly, they have very few staff. And they're inundated with multiple problems. It's not. It's the fault of the state government not funding sufficiently and doing enough staff. And doing the best they can. That's what it's been.
The last time we had a meeting, there was like one enforcement person. And like this much enforcement going, so Grace Brook just got on the list.
The one enforcement person for the whole state.
Yeah. Apparently they don't.
One
hang-
person for the whole state.
They don't hang around for some reason. It's a high,
Turnover.
yeah, because it's like a lot of. They get chewed out a lot. So
Thank
they
you.
they don't last long. I
Thanks,
guess.
David. David, just as you're going back, Ann and I had talked, and we've got a meeting on Thursday too, so. About prior stuff, so. Anyone else public comment, either here or on Zoom? Well, I guess we'll move on, and that means we'll turn it over to Carrie for now.
For now. So.
A little foreshadowing there, right?
That's right. So I'll start with the obvious. It's nice to see Sean Atkins, our incoming town manager, here with us today. So we welcome him, and at this point, we're going to work together for a month before you, at the next meeting, have to officially appoint him effective July 1st.
Mhm.
So, thanks for coming.
Welcome, Sean. And you've prepared your speech. You kept it under 10 minutes, I hope.
Keep it under a half.
Did
an
you
hour.
want to say anything though, Sean? Did you want to say anything?
But I'm here. Feel like it's been longer than 2 months, I guess, a month and a half since the official decision came out, and very excited. See you very, in a few days. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, just seen I think there was an article, I don't know, it's Vermont Bigger or somewhere recently, just about, another town in Chittenden County where, someone's not there and they're in a scramble to find someone else. I'm just glad we didn't have that. We've got a good town manager with Carrie, who's been here for
11.
years or 11 years, right? And so we're able to kind of hand it off where, you get two people running with the baton at the same time for a short time. anyway.
Short time.
We're lucky.
Can't run that far.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky. So, all right. Yep.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the next item, is we asked Dave to come here about quarterly. So Dave and John can probably go forward, or at least Dave at this point, to go over what DPW's been doing. We're asking him to come quarterly. And obviously we can go into greater details on any one thing if you'd like, but this piggybacks on what Dave's been doing, and Megan and myself providing you weekly updates so you stay informed and can answer questions in fairly real time. Obviously, if somebody has an issue, it's preferred that they contact the town manager. But in contrast, Dave's going to be here and explain all the work they've been doing, and much of it you can actually see if you look.
Yeah, and this is it's quite a list that I looked through, and so this is great.
I think, so last time I was here, some people weren't hearing me talk, so I made copies for whoever's in the audience. As you know, I've been doing the weekly reports, and I've taken over one of the bulletin boards out here. So all of our weekly reports are going out there, and I just posted a copy of this DPW update out there too, so anybody can see it. So, we want to be as transparent as we can. We like people to know what we're doing, and we want them to see, exactly what we're doing. So,
I just stop just for a second. I don't mean to interrupt, but is that something too that could be easily just, I mean, not the front page of our website, but just a document folder, kind of like the select board meeting agendas? Is that something that could be put there?
It can be.
I
Do you think
just-
it needs to be cleaned up and formalized at all? That's,
Yep.
I mean, I
I
sent
mean,
you something. It's
If you
pretty
feel they're
informal.
ready to be out here, which is public, then.
Yes, it is.
So, okay. That's-
So is
sorry, I
that
didn't mean to
something you would like us to do?
We can discuss it.
Okay,
I don't see, so I don't want to unduly make the staff spend an extra hour a week just to clean it up, right? I mean, it's.
I don't think it'll take that long.
I try to get it as clean as I can.
Yeah, okay. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I probably won't do it too many more times.
So we've been doing a lot in the last 6 months and, I don't know if I can go through this in 10 minutes, but
And I think even if you just picked a few highlights.
that's exactly what I was gonna
We'll
do.
give you 12.
Well, give me 12. Okay, that'll work. So one of the things I wanted to do out there at the town garage was contact Project WorkSafe. They come out and they go through everything. They do similar to an OSHA or VOSHA inspection and look for deficiencies. But it's not an enforcement type of inspection that they do. They just identify the deficiencies. We agree to fix those. And then if OSHA were to come out, we wouldn't have any deficiencies.
Mhm.
So I think we're in good shape. We had a lot of minor issues out there, but we've already corrected them, and we're working on a couple of things, trying to order up some placards for compliance spaces and those kinds of things. So just trying to keep us up in compliance. A couple of the projects that the guys have done, we tore up that small parking lot over at the bay by the ball fields. Because it was just pothole city in there. And now, with a couple of days work, we dug it all up, put in about $800 worth of new stone, compacted everything. Now it looks great in there. So I think that was a really good project for them to do. We continually have to work on our MS4 projects, which is, so obviously the stormwater projects. There's ditching that we need to do all over town. We need to reestablish our ditches, clean out a lot of culverts, replace a lot of culverts. Well, we had a call from a resident on McQuam Shore up there. And I went and looked at it, and yes, that ditch was in really bad shape. It was just all filled in. So we couldn't exactly fix it where he was. We had to go downstream and fix up the receiving stream, I guess, or receiving ditch. So we started down near Hathaway, and we just took out all the brush all the way up. We put in some stone check dams and cleaned that all up. We cleaned out under the guardrail, all the weeds that were growing in there were just growing in the sand and silt that had collected on the pavement over the years. So all that's cleaned up. Even the arrow signs that tell people that the road is turning are visible now because they were behind brush and everything too. And then from there, we went on, we cleaned up Black Bridge. Black Bridge was kind of in the same situation. There's still some more ditching to do over there, but we got rid of all the weeds and everything. So it actually looks pretty nice over there. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to drive through there. or not.
I drove down, was it like last week, right? You did it?
Yes, we just finished it
Yeah,
last week.
yeah, because I saw the crew out there working.
Yeah, we've done our side, we've done the bridge in our side of the road, but the V-Trans side, we can't do that.
Yeah.
So let's see, that talks about those. So this year we spent about $152,000 on salt. I know that was over our budget. I decided to buy a little more salt at the end of the season because I wasn't quite sure if we were done and we were getting low. But anyway, we'll have a little bit of a stockpile for next year. So maybe next year's budget will be a little less. You just never know with that. But we did track the number of days we were out there. We were out there 57 days plowing and sanding and or not sanding, but salting. So that was good. We did clean up a tremendous amount of tree debris all over town. I mean, we were working on that when I first started here. And then in that storm of December 23rd and 24th, the windstorm came in there and just knocked down trees all over the place. So I figured this was going to be a FEMA project. So I just immediately had the guys start tracking their time and the equipment they were using and everything. So we just submitted all of our FEMA documentation last week. And we were told by FEMA we were the first town to get our submittal in. And the total on that is going to be a little over $26,000. Now FEMA is going to pay 75%, and the state will pay roughly 17%. They have some kind of a funny number that they plug in for there. So we're going to get a significant amount of that reimbursed to us, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Let's see, we've been doing a lot of cleaning of various things. We did start working on the fence over there at that Stevens and Red Brook diversion structure. We did fix the fence in a couple of places. We fixed the gate to try and keep people out of there because it's kind of a big drop if somebody goes in there. they could fall pretty easily. And then I've put together a long list of what I think is gonna keep the highway guys busy all summer long. So you probably went through that. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna,
very long list.
and it's not even complete, because every time I go out, I see something else that we need to add on there, so it's always gonna be a working document, and the guys are never gonna have time to sit around and twiddle their thumbs, which is what we want.
Right,
We've
you
got a
don't-
lot
you're
of-
Not gonna be doing flowers down at the town fair.
Is what?
You're not gonna do flowers down?
I
at the
think
town-
we've got somebody else doing
Oh,
flowers, isn't that right, John? Yeah, so. So we've got a lot of expensive equipment at the highway garage. We need to keep it busy.
Yeah, I would think.
So that's the goal. So a lot of these projects on here are, you know, like culvert replacements. I can just pick a couple that are some, we're gonna take some extra work, like Jewett and Kellogg Road Extension and around Pike Drive. Numerous stormwater issues there that we need to work on, not only the ditches, but the culverts are plugged up and just reestablishing the ditches. And then that kind of leads us to a discussion on one of the roads I'm gonna pave this year, which is Pike Drive. I don't know if any of you have driven on Pike Drive or not, but I don't think it's been repaved in 30 years, and the thing is just falling apart. So we can't do a shim and overlay on that one. We're gonna have to reclaim it all. So we'll just dig it down like 10 to 12 inches. We'll recompact that material, and we'll put a new layer of asphalt on top
So
of
you're
it.
gonna have it ground or you're
Yep.
gonna do it with that?
Let's see, those are more culverts. Oh, the McQuam Shore and Lipan Road intersection. Yeah, I've been riding my bike around there for decades, and it's been bad for decades. So we're gonna dig that up and fix that. I think what we need to do there is in that one corner that collects all the water, we'll put a catch basin over there, and then we'll run a pipe underneath the road to the east, and then we'll daylight it out there, and we'll reestablish that ditch over there too. We'll take out all the berms. So that should solve that problem over there. I don't know how many of you guys.
Where does that water run to across?
It goes, so in the corner of Lapan and Quam Shore up the road, just 100 feet maybe, there's a culvert that goes under, and that goes into a standpipe. That when they system tiled that field, they ran a pipe all the way from the ditch that goes back of the set farm, and it all drains. All that water goes that way.
So between like Glenn's and the.
No, so between Glen Brooks and that top of the hill, all that goes out into Lappin's Bay. There's a ditch that goes down and then, and back.
Oh, that's what, okay. I know.
Then it goes, it actually goes right along Woody Drive. It's the same ditch, it's just further down.
I thought we were talking about Woody Drive over.
No,
That goes out to Lappin's Bay, and there's actually a problem there because it's a different story, but I may even own part of that ditch, but with, Baggins put all their system tile into that ditch, and now the ditch, there's certain times of year it can't come close to hand water that goes through there, but whatever, it's been that way for years.
So they did the cornfield below Brooks's. The system tile that.
Yeah, that doesn't go into that ditch, that goes out underneath the end of Woody Drive and goes right into Lappin's Bay, so. Yep, but anyways, for that, I think that corner you're talking about is in that field, right? The cornfield. Towards Allards. If he wants to bring the culvert towards Allards. Right, and then it'll end up going under the road and into that stand. How's it gonna go? There's nowhere for that to go, is there? It's not much of a ditch. Okay, I don't. Yeah. See, you'll make it go. Water
Yeah.
goes downhill.
it does go
Gotta
down.
make it go.
No matter what we do, it's gonna go down now.
Yeah,
So it hit that, it won't hit the ditch you just fixed, will it?
I don't think it'll make it that far. It'll probably infiltrate more. What's that?
Can you picture it in my head?
yeah, I don't know where that water is gonna
We-
go,
If you want, we can take a drive out there and look at it.
When you go by it,
because it's not gonna go under Allard's barn driveway. There's no culverts
Might be when you get done, huh?
there. Yeah, you'll figure it out. That'd be a good area to get cleaned up.
We were out doing inspections of culverts and outfalls and stuff, and we went to the end of Parrot Drive and we came across a culvert out there that we just need to remove. Apparently, it's been there since Parrot Drive went straight across before the highway. And things just rotted out horribly, and if somebody goes down in there, a kid or something, they could really get hurt, so we're just gonna take it out and get rid of it and reestablish the ditch. We're not gonna put another culvert in there, and that's kind of a low priority one. If we have a half a day or something, we could go out there and take care of that one. Another project we want to do is over here where the 5 roads intersect on Georgia Shore Road. Need to reestablish all those ditches over there at the bottom of Church Road and reset that guardrail, because that guardrail is all leaning way over. And just kind of ditch it out all the way to the brook over there past Chump Street. Just get it all cleaned up. So those are just more failed culverts. On the corner of Green Mountain Drive and Nason Street, there's a small stormwater project we can do from a flow restoration plan and phosphorus control plan. Just put in a couple of check dams. We did get the grants and aid for stormwater improvements. That'll help us buy stone and culverts and the other materials we need. And let's see, we applied for the Transportation Alternatives Grant. That was the one to study the stormwater over on the Quam Shore and to see what we can do to alleviate some of the clay and silt that's, discharged out into the lake. I applied for the grant to replace that big culvert on French Hill. We didn't get that one, unfortunately.
Is it no luck on French Hill at all, huh? You had a
No.
couple of them?
No, they were both for the same project because V-Trans told me I could combine those together. And the estimate I've got now is around $280,000. So I figured if we could combine those, we could get close to having it, but didn't get either one. So
They only had to say no once.
Yes.
You combine them.
Yeah.
It's-
You can reapply though, right?
we can apply every year for something. I don't like to let grant opportunities go by without applying, so whether we get them or not. And then we did get the Class 2 paving grant, which I'll use for Jewett Ave. We did work with that Auctions International website or web-based auction website, I guess, and we sold a bunch of our assets, I guess. We liquefied them or liquidated them.
Looks like you've done pretty good.
We did.
Yeah,
do
you did well
pretty
on the trucks, especially.
So we got, over $46,000 worth of stuff already, and we've got another truck that we need to sell. And we've got some floats and some docks that we want to sell. And, we went into the old town DPW building, and there's some other things in there we can probably sell too. That furnace was still operating, I understand, when we moved out of there, and somebody might want that. Maybe they don't, but you never know. And then there's some other pumps in there. So there's some.
Throw them out there. Now, what are we doing with that money? It's going in.
I was gonna ask what fund does that go to?
This-
Yeah.
The
DPW
items
reserve.
from DPW are going into DPW reserve.
And also. Minus to replace.
Right. Keep selling that stuff. We might get a whole truck. Okay?
A little one.
Little.
We need another little. So that's worked out really well for us. I've still got several documents that I want to continue to review and get approved from you guys. I went through the winter operations guidelines, did some updates on that. I just need to bring it to you and formalize it. So we'll have that done before next winter. I want to update our DPW specifications. We definitely need a health and safety plan. That'll get us back in compliance with all the OSHA requirements and everything. And then I want to revise the right-of-way permit program. Right now we've got an application for curb cuts and an application for utilities, and it should just be one program for anybody who wants to work in the right-of-way, period. It doesn't have to be two separate things. That just kind of complicates things. So I want to clean that up too. We've done a lot of training with the guys in the winter time. Well, I meet with the guys every Monday morning and we talk about projects for the week and stuff. And then I'm also out there in the morning too, just to, on a daily basis to get in touch with them and go through items. But in the wintertime, those Monday mornings were good for doing these trainings because Vermont Local Roads is an arm of V-Trans. And during the pandemic, they recorded a lot of their training programs. So we went through, got a whole list of them there: snow and ice control, drainage and ditches, road fundamentals, they all got flagger training, updates, intro to rivers and roads, slope stabilization, pavement management and road maintenance. I did get them their 10-hour OSHA trainings. That's good. They went through dig safe training. I sent Brad to a road foreman training on risk management for highway supervisors. And then we've got a couple of trainings lined up that they're going to actually come to our garage and do the trainings here. And one of those is on lines and levels. It's for training the guys or renewing their knowledge of how to set up a construction site and how to, shoot elevations and stuff. So our guys will be there. We'll have various other employees from local towns coming to that too. And then we've got another one there on bucket and excavation training. So we've cleared out a site out there where they're going to learn how to dig a hole and smooth it out and how to operate safely.
Everybody's gonna learn how to run the excavator.
We're going to have everybody except for me.
Oh,
It's all about safety, getting everybody back up trained and understanding what they need to do and what they need to watch out for. So that's my goal, is to make sure we don't have any safety issues, and we have everybody trained up adequately and they know what they're doing. And nobody's getting hurt. And we're not jumping in a hole when we know that it could collapse on us. Just moving down, talk about the Bay Park water source. That well was drilled in September of 21, I believe. So I do have some water quality analysis now, so I need to put together a report and submit that to the state to get approval of that well. And then once it's approved, then I need to do the design for the improvements and submit that to get a construction permit. So
why is that taking so?
which part? I just got here.
We drilled the well in 21, here it's 23, and we ain't using it yet.
That is correct.
Unreal.
I'll have the permitting done through this fall, and then we'll be able to build things next spring. That's my goal with this, because I know the permitting is going to take a while, because everything is easily 60 to 90 days to A&R, if not longer. So.
Is it, you haven't got the test back or anything? I thought we took them last fall.
We do have, the tests last fall, that was the E. coli. Is that correct, John?
Yes.
Yes. And then there was some question on some of the water quality data that we got, whether it was actually from the well or if it was from the old dug well. And I've talked with Chevalier and John, and I've come to the conclusion in my mind that I'm happy that it was from the correct well. So now I can move forward with getting that well permitted. But it is a process. We got to get the source approval done first. And then once they say the source is approved, then we move forward with the design of the treatment.
Because it's a public supply, we wouldn't go through all this crap
Yes.
if it was
Yes.
a
Yes.
house or something.
You still have to get your water
It-
certified for new houses, but this is a more arduous process.
It is, because it's a transient, non-community water system. So that's why we have to go through this process.
That only state people here a couple of weeks ago, we should have done on that.
Could have signed off on people.
None of the people from that department were here. They have a lot
They
of.
wouldn't have known anything about it.
They only sent the AOT guy to bribe us, now they should have sent a water guy to bribe us.
I can move down and talk about the paving, I guess. Those other things are just kind of ongoing. So I'm looking at paving Jewett Ave, Pike Drive. Button Road is also falling apart in places. Bluff Hill is pretty bad. And then Congress Street. The upper part of Congress Street, I don't know if you guys have driven up there or not, but ever since they put in that sidewalk, the stormwater runs down the side of the road and not in the ditch, because the sidewalk is higher than the road. And it's actually within the last it's definitely, since that sidewalk went in, that road is just getting destroyed up there. So we're gonna have to put in a couple of catch basins to try and catch that stormwater runoff and run it over into the ditch.
Who engineered that?
I have no idea. I'm still trying to find that out.
I won't say it.
Like, I was out there in a rainstorm just watching how the water flows. That's the best way to see it. And the ditch was dry, but the road was running pretty hard.
That's how you keep from wearing off the ditch.
That's right. That's
Don't
exactly.
get any ditch erosion.
But anyway, we'll take care of that. We're gonna have to take out a couple of sidewalk panels and then we'll ditch it or dig it across and get the proper stuff installed. Let's see, where did I go here? So the North Sewer Pump Station. Once they put in the emission control monitoring system, we kind of discovered that we've got an inflow and infiltration problem out there. So it appears that we got some storm water flowing into the wastewater system there. So we need to get some dye and then start tracing it back to figure out where the
Do you
problems
think
are.
it's coming from a parking lot?
I have no idea at this point.
Think so?
Could be anywhere. Somebody might have tied into the stormwater line with their roof
Roof drain?
or something. Yeah, I don't know. So that's just something we gotta,
So you've been having a lot of trouble out there with the new pump and stuff?
I'll should probably let John talk to that, but it's kind of calmed down, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's calmed down. At first we did, but it was just kind of adjusting the floats, getting the floats where they need to be. Basically, on Sunday, if it's a nice day, everybody washing their cars and it instantly throws a high flow alarm, high water alarm. And then it would flip from radar to float back up. And so I was always going out there, but since we've adjusted it, we haven't had any problem. I got a call Saturday, I had to go and check it, but same thing, they just went and checked out everything, they did their inspection of it, so. Don't know, it's just something they moved around, so.
We always suspected there was a lot of rainwater going in there, didn't we, haven't we? For a long time.
We haven't looked at it recently, maybe historically. I mean, that pump house has been there 2, 3 decades.
Now that's,
Close to 20 years.
that program shows the 11 seconds, it shows the graph. That's the pump sticks on, so it shows you when it's raining, it's doing this. So
I thought though was it last year about this time when that guy came up that we were doing the pump for, what was his name?
From Chaplin.
Yeah.
Associates.
He
Dave
was
Cropper.
saying he thought there was a lot of infiltration at that.
We did at that point, yes.
Let's see, talk about the decentralized sewer in the bay. Right now, I'm negotiating with the engineer on their proposal, so I'm gonna meet with them on Wednesday. Hopefully,
So
Next
what are they
couple.
giving you an estimate or
yeah, they gave me a proposal.
to actually build it or?
This is to
their
design.
part?
This is just the design piece of it and the feasibility of it.
This is related to the ARPA stuff?
This
Or
is the,
separate?
it is, this is the grant we got to study the feasibility of
Yeah.
putting the sewer down here.
And that'll be ready when?
Well, I'm meeting with them on Wednesday.
Okay.
We're still negotiating.
Cost.
I
Okay.
can't even imagine, because I know when we did that 20 years ago, it was pretty exorbitant then. I
Yeah,
can't imagine
yeah.
what it is now.
Yeah, that's why we're talking.
Mhm.
It's the sidewalk projects are probably of interest to some, so we can talk about those. Megan put out a request for proposals to get an engineer to help with the design and easement right of way type of work that we need for the sidewalks. And that would be the one from Prospect Hill all the way down to the city line. And then the one here from the Bay Park to the new town hall here. And this one is definitely going to be problematic. I mean, yes, you can put a sidewalk there, but we've got 3 power poles in the way. We've got a row of hedges in the way. We've got stairs going up to an apartment in the way. We got like 6 to 12 inches of that green garage is in the right of way over there. So there's a lot of issues to deal with before we can get a sidewalk in this area here. So.
okay.
It's not as easy as just saying, I'll just draw it up and put a sidewalk in.
Saw that guy's stairs off. He takes a head.
Still all the other ones you gotta deal with.
D6 or D7, those are move all that like half an hour.
Yeah.
Third
Take the
gear.
corner right off that garage. You can throw some plywood.
And once it's out of there, then you set it back a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's, you drive through there and you can tell it's just gonna be a nightmare.
yes. Yeah. And there's no room on the other side either, 'cause that's where all the ditches are and. Yeah. I mean, I understand it would be nice to have one, so we'll keep looking at it, try to figure out how to make it happen. So in addition to working on that, the bid advertisement for the paving, I'm just about done with the RFP for replacing the roof at the stone house. So, hopefully we'll get that one out here shortly.
Is there any hint on what paving's gonna cost this year?
Yeah, we should be under budget. In fact, I added a section on, Lower Newton Road. Because I think it's gonna be less than what I was. Probably gonna be about $94 a ton. Yep. It might come down, we'll see. I know somebody really wants the project, so.
Yeah, I'm looking at just, you got number 21. So is that, there are a lot of improvements we didn't have permits for in Bay
Yes.
Park and Cone Park?
That is correct.
Okay. And
So I
that's
was-
being worked on now, I assume?
Yes, I had someone from the state gonna come up here and meet me, but they had a family emergency, so we had to delay that. So I don't have anything scheduled with them just yet to get them back out. We're just gonna look at everything and look, it's already here. What do we need to do to
Okay.
formalize this stuff?
We're not in danger of having to take anything down as far as.
I hope not.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't think so, but you never know.
Okay.
They hadn't mentioned it. Emily had reached out to them last summer, so we just wanted them to come out and if we're gonna make it right, make it all.
Yeah.
What's the time period, like the number of years that were in arrears, like how far back did we not get permits that we needed? Just.
I'm not sure when.
I
Yeah,
I think it's like 6 to 8.
Okay.
There's not, yeah, it's part of that path was great. Everyone loves it, but certain phases of that we didn't get permits.
Yeah, it went in way too fast.
Well, we went in, we put part of it in before the shoreline protection.
Yeah.
Was effective, so it goes back to them.
Okay. That could be rough.
So page 6, some of the stormwater projects. So I had a kickoff meeting with the consultant for the Clyde Allen Drive Stormwater Project. They'll actually be out there Thursday doing the survey. Getting all the elevations and creating the base maps that they're gonna need to design that. Tanglewood. We're trying to pull together the bid documents for this one to get that finalized, to get it ready to go out. The flow restoration plan and phosphorus control plan. There's a lot of stormwater projects identified in those two things, and some of those other projects that we're working on have come out of there, so. We just gotta pick those off as we can. And Grice Brook, we're gonna have to visit the Grice Brook project. Originally it was designed to have an infiltration basin on the cemetery's land, but they didn't want that. So we're gonna go back and design something on the Grice Brook property. We had a meeting last week with SATEC. Because they've got issues in the back of their field. They say it's all coming from Grice Brook. So I'm gonna meet Derek out there this week. Or no, 14th, I think it is. And then I'll take a look and see what's going on and see if there's anything that we can do.
So, is the school complaining?
Well, they are a 3-acre site, so they have to upgrade their stormwater system anyway.
So,
And they are saying that all of that, I guess there's a lot of erosion happening out back there,
yeah,
and that the water is all coming from Grice Brook. I'll go take a look at it.
is the pond out front there, the school, that never has a whole lot in it.
Yes, and that's the one that they're gonna be redesigning. I guess they're putting in some new kind of system. I don't know, the guy was talking about it, but that's on them. We have our own issues to deal with.
was up in that back corner below Grace Brook here, that's where it's washing, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, in the wooded area, the wooded
It's been
school
that
lot.
for
Mhm.
Forever.
Ever.
We're currently doing our inspections at our existing stormwater treatment practices. We're supposed to have those inspections done by June 15th and then reports to the state by July 15th. So, we'll get those taken care of. And that gets us to the Parks and Rec section. John has been very busy getting all these things going. Had a successful Holly Jolly Jamboree, the Mill River Classic Hockey Tournament, and we raised some money for Operation Happiness. And, we continue to work together on building a maintenance program for all of the infrastructure that we have here. And the farmers markets kicked off last Thursday. I don't know if you guys were able to
I was
go to
there.
that. I was there, didn't
I
see it.
didn't see you.
I was
How many
fine.
people were there? 10?
But no, it's a lot of
It
people,
was a good amount.
Good crowd.
wicked crowd.
Yeah, it was a good crowd.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I got there kind of late, so I probably missed.
I'll look for you this Thursday.
I can't be there this
Oh.
Thursday, but the next one I can.
But yeah, I just, that park is such an asset.
Yeah.
I remember when it was nothing but a jungle. That one year. It was like the National Guard or something did a training. And they were hiding out in all the bushes down there. This was in the 70s. And,
1870s or
no, and they were all in there camouflaged down in there, they're doing some kind of training. They were in the park. Cause it was like a jungle,
Down forest.
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, John's been busy getting sponsors and lining up the bands, getting ready for the upcoming events. We got Bay Day coming up and this Saturday is our Touch a Truck event, so make sure you come down to that. Getting things cleaned up, ready to go for that.
Did I hear on the radio or somewhere that Fairfax or somewhere is having one, like, was it
I thought
Fairfax?
Georgia.
Or Georgia?
That's Georgia. Well, let's make ours a little bit bigger.
It'd be too bad when they're all at ours. We got more trucks.
I know
And it's
those
also,
things-
and I'm sorry, it's also like people during COVID, we opened up our new facility. People didn't get to see our garage. So
Mhm.
we're also treating it like a
Mhm.
open house for the new garage. People
And we're
can-
doing it at the garage.
Right.
Yes.
At the actual garage on Brigham Road.
So
Yep.
what time's it start?
It's this Saturday.
Well,
8 o'clock this Saturday.
my wife's got people coming for lunch that day. Told me I have to be home at noon. Well. I'll come down at 11, check it out.
And then Bay Day stuff's coming along, all right?
Yep.
Awesome. Yep. What did you order for weather?
Rain.
Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Now, we gonna open the old garage for parking and stuff, like, did we do that last year?
We did that last year. Yeah.
How they worked out, pretty good.
Seemed pretty well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Bay Day is Sunday, July 2nd. Fireworks are gonna be at dusk.
Fortunately, it's on a Sunday this year.
I mean, did I say Saturday? Sunday. It's definitely Sunday, July.
Because of the fireworks company, we only do it on Sunday this year. So they promised next year we'll be back on Saturday.
I was in the first Bay Day that had 36 teams. And like the next 2 years, it was crazy. I got the hell out. I didn't look as good, coming in second or fourth.
Well,
Better.
enough to remind you instead of everlasting.
So I have a quick question about the parks and, right, where are we at with the roofing project? Are we? On the.
Who's getting bids?
Oh. Yeah, I'm about ready to put that out to bid.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
So did you find the slate guys?
We've got one person that's interested right now. So We'll get it out there.
There's nobody else.
Well, that, sometimes that's happens.
So, yeah, it's a unique skill set.
And then John's been staffing up with all the high school and college kids. But they're kind of busy, so it's hard to get them in to actually get some work done. So it takes a lot of effort on his part to manage and coordinate all those folks. So,
Yeah,
We have a lot of part-timers to get, one.
one full-time man, huh?
yeah. And then we're gonna put some decorative flower planters out there at the big park too. Get those looking nice. There you go.
That looks good down there.
So that's pretty much. Yeah,
That's a lot.
It
Looks
is a
like
lot.
You're doing a lot.
Well, we're not
5
gonna-
years worth of work
Yeah.
in one.
We don't have to ask what you're doing with your spare
I
time.
don't, yeah, there is none.
The tight 12.
Well, and you probably only touched on half of
I
the
did.
stuff.
You have a copy of that thing and another one I want.
You want one?
I'm just gonna check stuff off this summer as you do it.
It's in the packet.
It is?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in there.
It's first
It's in
after
there.
the agenda.
In there.
Right there, give me another. Oh, yeah.
And Dave, you were gonna give us just a brief thing on the stormwater budget, or is that
Yeah, Carrie and I will kind of do that tag team, right?
What part?
The stormwater.
I got a
Yes.
couple questions on the last part.
Yeah.
Just as a general, DPW stuff. Roadside mowing, because I know I'm gonna get asked. Is that gonna start, I forget if we're just doing 1 or 3 or 2.
The
Like, I
last
know
few years, we've done
there-
3. We tried to get away with 2. It really didn't work out well, so we're gonna do 3 and they started.
They started last week.
Is the thing working?
The one tractor, the clutch broke in it, right? I think they got it fixed already, right?
The same tractor that was up in Timbuktu all went all summer?
They were working on the.
Clutch went in that?
This spring. This is spring. Bring it all back up.
Yeah. So that's
Kind of important.
Is it a split job? That's not a split.
No,
job.
just a
Okay.
spring wagon.
And then, so, because it is important to know if it's a town road, I know, I live on 105, and the grass is, you got cattails too that are getting to be this high, it's hard to see them, so those ones we need to let V-Trans know, correct?
They only do it once.
I'll send you an email, we're at that point again off my road, so.
It is that roadside lawn, we've had that forever, that should be on replacement somewhere, isn't it?
The boom mower or the
Yeah.
flail mower?
It hasn't been forever. We did replace it 4 or 5 years ago. Well, the one that I'm talking about that we just had to have repaired was one that I replaced with Alan's help, so he was not here 7 years, so I know it was in the last 6 years.
Really?
Yeah. Cause he
Is that-
worked with V-Trans and we got one that V-Trans recommended and then it crapped out on us like this and then we
That
called him
cat-
back.
That cat tractor, I thought. Does that have a bucket loader? in
It's got one, but not.
it? What was the one before that? Was that the John Deere with the new idea?
Must be it was.
There was one we used for a long time. It kept breaking down. We got this one and it was demoralizing. Then that started breaking. We're like, V-Trans said it was great.
I know,
and-
but you see him around, like.
Yep,
The day I was up in the kingdom hunting down ours, I saw 3 more on the way home, same rigs mowing along there in different towns. I said, boy, everybody got suckered into these.
they sure did. And then V-Trans said they don't use them anymore.
Yes, of course they don't. You go to the auction, buy a couple more and get parts forever.
So do we want to do the budget tonight? We're gonna look at that in stormwater, or just?
We did
was
want
this
to
a
go
pin there
through
for
it.
us
We
to
don't,
look at?
yeah, we don't have to hit every line. I mean, Dave and I worked off the budget that Emily had prepared.
Mhm.
And for those people that follow our budget process, we do the general fund budget and a lot of things that are included in that in the fall. And, taxpayers approve that in March. This is separate, it's utility. So that's why we'd like you to look at it today. Anna's working on a few reports too on the stormwater utility revenues, but we'd like to at least get any questions out this time so that when we come back to you on the 21st of June, we can ask you to approve that budget that should begin within a month or two. So-
Al?
Well, not well, regular service, is to be operated, I don't think it's not going back to.
Correct.
Thank you.
Al, if you speak again, you should probably speak in one of the microphones because we can't hear you on Zoom.
I will next time.
Okay,
Everything's separate on the town's end, but it's the same taxpayer paying it.
Right, what's it? Budget, which thing, general fund, in the stormwater account, we use, expense, general fund, we haven't started collecting yet. Now, everything, revenue and expense, are not stormwater account, nothing.
Keeps it clear.
Is partially, but this is the homeowners, but it also brings up all the private like churches and nonprofits, hospitals, things like that. They contribute, so it's more than this taxpayer, it's everybody here for the water, the city is paying for it. Sure.
But those funds are only used in 2 watersheds, correct?
No, they're used for stormwater
Thought
projects
that-
throughout
Thought
the,
that the whole, again, I may not understand this correctly evidently, but I thought the whole idea was that Stevens, there's 2 impaired watersheds in the town and that money was supposed to go to those 2 watersheds.
It's-
and yeah,
And all the projects to improve those 2 watersheds are in those flow restoration plan and the phosphorus control plans, and those are the projects we're working on.
they are the ones we're focusing on. I just don't think it'll solely be that. Ultimately, the state had said they would include anything that drains into Lake Champlain as a TMDL would count for stormwater.
So, but, yeah. It's a sticky subject with me, but, yeah, the state is gonna expand that to be the whole town. That,
Right now, we're focusing on the very specific projects in the flow restoration plan, which yes, are in fact Ruggs and Stevensbrook watersheds.
right.
Yes. So, I mean, the line, this is much, much shorter than our regular budget, so I thought we could cover it during a regular meeting, but the budget itself, had salary lines that I'll hit the highlights of what we changed from the previous year. I mean, you have the spreadsheet in front of you, but we don't have a lot of previous years because the first full year, this was like Anna just said, FY 22.
Yeah.
So we're just finishing out the FY 23 and building the FY 24 budget. But because we restructured in town, so the first line is usually the one that actually causes the most conversation, but we are searching for a different type of individual to fill that. So we reduced the salary line because we were hoping to get someone who could be a coordinator, maybe not someone who's an engineer, but someone who could manage projects, help Dave and maybe help with some of the problematic billing questions. But Anna and Lisa have done a lot of work in that aspect and are helping people work through the billing aspects. But we still need someone to help with projects, and to help Dave manage all the stormwater, projects that are coming up. Because we're hoping to get in this cadence where you have a year of planning, a year of, making construction plans, and then an actual, a project that does all 3, construction, project planning, and then conceptual. This year is the first year Dave's been making some headway to try to get some RFPs put out so we can actually have construction this fall, perhaps. So that's why the first line was changed and it went down substantially because we changed the salary. We had, I don't know why this one shows no salary.
Well, it's like there's an amount above the salary line on the first one and the FY 22. Is that what you're looking at, the 60,000? And then
Yeah,
the
but-
salaries are the line, it looks like below that one, correct?
Yeah,
So I'm not sure what that top line.
Yeah, I
is.
don't know what that was before, but anyway, yes, that's what we were planning for this
Oh,
coming year.
You know what, I think it says up there, is that where it says part of the left administrative transfer to general fund, right?
That was
Okay,
it.
so that's just a one time, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we reduced that. That's what we think we can hire somebody for, hoping less. And we also might, if we can't get someone full-time, maybe we have to hire a consultant to do some of the project management. We're on our third round of advertisements. Trying to get someone hired for this position. Nobody graduates from college with a stormwater degree. So Al, if you're gonna speak, you're gonna need to come up.
The LCT has this associate's program in stormwater management.
Very nice.
Is anybody in it?
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
There you go. Does he need a job?
does he want to do some interning? Oh,
And I'm just looking through, Carrie, any other changes of note? Most of them look like they're pretty much just.
They're
kind of
pretty
a
straightforward.
Continuation, right?
Exactly. So what I will point out, Dave and I worked at trying to pare down this budget. We carried some money over if it wasn't used. So where you see zeros does not mean we're gonna spend zero money. It just means that we're gonna use some of the money already collected. And not raise it again until
Gotcha.
we're sure what the expenses really are for that line. As an example, which one did we do? Street sweeping. We use salt most of the time. We don't actually have to do street sweeping. But there's a few instances where we might need that, so we'll save that money for that purpose, but we're not gonna ask for more, when we didn't use it last year.
Mhm.
And that was 7,500.
so what do you do? Hire the city sweeper to do it? Or you do? you
We
got-
did, yeah, we had proposed to use that, but we seriously didn't use it at all last year because we use salt, almost all the time unless there's an ice storm or
Do
something.
we have
like
a
that.
broom that goes on that little loader?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
You can windrow it and sweep it up with it.
We don't do it at all right now, so yes, it's great that if we start doing it, we have something to use, but this. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so we have sections, right? Obviously MS4 compliance, we still put some money in there, but we didn't.
Yeah, we dropped that first line item down because we got the grant,
Right, when we
which
get
will do the same thing for us.
there's a section on, and engineering consulting, we kept that in there, Dave can do a lot, but he can't do it all, so there'll still be some needs for engineering planning.
There's still a good decrease on it anyway.
Yes, there is, yeah, we tried to do that where we thought it was plausible. Still will need some legal review, because we still need easements and things like that.
I'm just looking through, just generally speaking, right? So construction is 240,000, 250,000. What's the total budget is?
Well, for
Yeah, where's
FY
the total? I'm just trying to get an idea. So
it's in pink under FY 24, so
the three
with all the reductions, it's
13,
313,990. And that's utilizing some of the money that was collected this current year.
okay, so just in effect, 240,000 out of 313 is using to actually build stormwater.
That's correct.
So I mean, just in
Yep.
terms of efficiency, so not a smaller portion is administrative,
Mhm.
which, okay.
But it looks like we're raising way more than that.
Yeah, 568, right?
Right,
So
the
the
reason the
25.
revenues were, and we set the ERU rate at 50 was set more or less on like a 20-year plan.
I mean, the idea part, ultimately it'd be great if this was, I would say self-funding, but at some
Mhm.
point we don't need to fund it anymore, right? Or we wouldn't need to fund as much.
You probably you could lower the ERU and lower the budget, absolutely. Right now, we
Still
set
early,
that
yeah.
$50 per household rate based on the projects we had and what we estimated they cost. If we find it's more efficient for our DPW to do some of those, yes, going forward, you could
Okay.
reduce the ERU, you could reduce the budget. Once you get a handle on some of the bigger ones. It's kind of like anything, like,
Is that the state? So we're one of what, 8, 9 towns in the state that actually have this going on?
Well, then do it as a utility.
I think
right?
it's
The
more
rest
than
all
that
have it
now.
in general fund. right? They're doing it.
If that's your question, yeah, there are,
So, no, that's not, my question is, my question is, isn't the state going to have to pour money into this at some point? It's basically an unfunded mandate. Right?
Yes, they have money, but they haven't figured out how they're gonna dole it out yet.
So my position is that, which is not gonna be shared by probably anybody in the room, but I would squeeze the budget on it and force the state to leverage their own money to do the things that they want done.
So I was told the state's got $39 million to dole out between everybody that's applicable for stormwater projects. And that they understand they need over $200 million to do all these projects.
You think we're in a better spot if we look like, wow, they have got it up and running and they're doing it, they're a better, bigger target to get more money, or the other way that Jeff's thinking, where it's like, if they haven't done anything, we gotta grease this, we'll give them more money? Do you think make any sense?
I don't have any sense of that.
Emily thought it was the latter. She said, we were given
Better
a
if we
little,
didn't have money.
no, better if we actually had some money, had a utility and showed that we were making an effort to get some of these projects done.
How much, did we lose on the ag bill?
We haven't figured that out yet. That revenue flow will certainly change July first,
Mhm.
2023. I don't know if they even come up with criteria as far as what classified as farm. Are they to use all the people that are currently using the grand list? So, I mean, we haven't even figured that out. Who's exempt because of that?
When we were estimating it, when we hired the lobbyist, it was roughly 70,000, but to Anna's point, the state has to give us some more parameters.
And because we need to know who we have to activate, so
Correct.
we don't get, stormwater bill.
You think of one.
Let's get my garden in, does that count?
Big ag.
Yeah, people, I mean, I understand there's some objections. We certainly got a lot of feedback when we first implemented this. It's just, we needed to do some of these repairs, anyway, the ones at Tanglewood, Gracebrook, and it's a fairer way to assess that fee than to exclude the churches and the schools and the hospital. They have stormwater as well, and it shouldn't be the town, general fund property taxpayers paying those fees. That's not fair either. So this was a more fair way to assess stormwater, for stormwater.
Again, because I don't understand these things that well. Say, take Bryce Brook, for instance, as you mentioned that.
Mhm.
That's a private entity, is it not? Like, where's the town involved with solving a private entities? I guess I'm asking the question. I don't understand. So they have a very expensive fix project, right? They have to fix their stormwater. It's very expensive.
All of them have to.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, $500,000, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And so is that like, so has society decided that because it's so expensive, the towns are going to, everyone's gonna pay for that? Or is that their responsibility to like, boy, it really is too bad that you bought property in such a dilapidated thing, but you're gonna go, you're probably gonna need to move out of here because you're not gonna be able to afford to live. Is that the two options, or I don't?
No, in most cases, our plan was that we hoped to get some of that state money Dave was talking about and ask the state to help, because in some cases they mismanaged the program for a really long time. Or ignored it, didn't enforce
The
that.
state?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're hoping that the business plan, really, and grossly oversimplify it, is to get a large chunk of the money from the state, ask the HOA to pay X amount, and the town will pay a small minor portion of that, like. Right. But a minor part of it, and what we lend them and helping them as citizens of our town is Dave's expertise, the stormwater person's expertise, like trying to help them, because if we don't help them, I'm not sure who else would. And for a town, an overall town, we're helping improve, fluvial erosion and the lake quality, hopefully, ultimately, but that's another whole discussion. Dave?
But see, originally, all these, you know, when all these developments were approved, because I was sitting there. HOAs were supposed to, you know, they all started, I don't know when we started doing these retention ponds and. You know, nobody took care of it. We never, half the time they never formed their HOA, like Englewood, and that's an expensive one. That's been going on since the day they drove the first nail up there. And it's still going on. But there was never an intention of the town to do all that stuff. It was supposed to be on the homeowners in each development. And of course, you know, there was no enforcement on our end.
But was the town legally obligated to enforce on that?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, they were supposed to form these associations.
I'm trying to wonder why it's everybody's responsibility to take care of.
There are no clear guidelines, like Chris Lee built 300 yards. There is no
Clyde
clear-
Allen Drive,
Clyde Allen.
Tanglewood.
There's no clear guidelines from the state in relation to stormwater, retention ponds.
And when these started, I mean, our bylaws, our town plans, you know, we weren't even prepared, as, you know, when Clyde Allen came in, that was one of the first big ones. I mean, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were all fumbled along.
I think it's worth noting, though, at this point, we've learned from our mistakes, right? So where it comes in a rub sort of way is the neighborhood says, I want my road taken over. We're like, okay, well, if you want your road taken over and accepted as a public road, then all your permits should be current. And you have to do it hopefully when your pavement is new, or you're gonna have to do that as well. So we have a bunch of policies now, and we encourage and try to educate the developers definitely, and the new residents, that you'd be wise to engage your HOA. You're gonna need them at some point.
So,
Permit that they renew every 5 years, is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's been going on for 30 years.
yeah, but the state was really lax.
Right.
about-
Right,
They never-
right.
the state
Yeah.
never followed up.
So is it theoretical that the town could reach a point where if we address Rice Brook and we address Tanglewood, that our expenses would go down after a bit?
It
Because-
absolutely
Or
is, yes.
are we gonna just continually, because now we're gonna try to get a bunch more development and building in St. Albans to house people? Is this a perpetual thing where we're just 10 years from now, we're gonna be dealing with some development?
new projects are more strict now.
The new project is gonna get, it's all.
It's kind of just catching up.
More regulated for the state.
There's gonna be about 12 of these, yeah.
The intent is we should be able to catch up and then and then reduce, I won't say drastically, reduce the cost, and just operation maintenance costs would be.
On the homeowners, not on the town.
There's,
Are we taking over every wastewater pond in the town? That's
we're not taking over any wastewater ponds.
Well,
but stormwater.
Sorry,
Yeah,
excuse
yeah.
me.
We take
Um,
over the operation and then.
Of all,
Yes.
as part of this.
Part of the
utility,
Weed whacking and.
as part of this utility. we're
Yes.
doing it.
Because we know it will get done, and we can do it a lot, well, not a lot, but in some cases less expensive than somebody hiring somebody. to do that. And we document it, we send stuff to the state, everyone's happy. It's getting done appropriately. It's not a never-ending escalating budget in our mind.
So when a developer puts in a development, are we charging them for that?
Well, I think that was not said, like, we're not going after like, say like, development that just went in, we're not gonna take that pond over, it's just the ponds that are there that have issues. We're not gonna take over a whole new
Oh,
development.
we're not taking over.
I mean, down the road,
No,
down the road.
right,
you're gonna
and
get to-
that,
Correct. That is correct.
That's correct.
Yeah. So how many stormwater ponds are we taking over? We should know that, because we aren't taking over new ones, we're taking over old. How many?
Yeah, and some of the new agreements are very,
At least a dozen of these projects that need to be done.
Just trying to get it in my head how this is working. That's all. I'm asking questions, trying to. learn.
See, I'm thinking 10, 20 years down the road, these new ponds that are new stormwater is going in now, we'll be into them too.
Well, they'll be outdated and we'll have to be
Right.
doing upgrades to them.
They'll
for
come up
sure,
with some new plan and
Because engineers aren't gonna run out.
Well,
we have easements
we'll
to
keep
them.
a better track of them going forward.
well, we
That would
say
be the
that.
plan, is when a new development's going in, there's gonna be more eyes on it.
And part of the review process is through stormwater, which is why we also catch it in advance.
Part of their HOA fees, that audits and claim fees.
Yeah.
Will be on their.
Cause we did get some complaints, Jeff, from people that have stormwater ponds, like, why do I have to pay stormwater to the town? Why do I have to pay the fee to the state?
Right.
So the newer ones won't be regulated or taken care of by it. Like, there was a lot of that.
Yeah,
I don't think they ever will be,
I think
by the way, how it's going, I could be.
I guarantee we'll be doing it for 10 years. These ones will come up with some new design and now the rest will have to be brought up to standard. Be the same, we didn't have enough money.
Well, if we get enough people right in the right sector, we can just get an exemption.
Any other questions, Jeff?
No, I mean,
I wasn't here when it started either. Something.
yeah, I wasn't, yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out what the deal is, that's all. I'm not a question. I'm not vehemently opposed to it, I'm just trying to understand why we're doing what we're doing.
I mean, just briefly, my understanding was it was a state mandate, right? You either do this through a separate stormwater utility, or you do it through your general fund. If you do a general fund, it's based on property value, right? If you do it through a stormwater utility, it's a little bit more, I mean, it's $50 plus the town's gotta pay some, the city's gotta pay some. depending on the State, you have state,
V-Trans.
nonprofits, and everybody has to chip in something, so therefore it's theoretically a little bit less per.
But now people are opting out.
Well,
Well,
states
they're
changing
the
the rules.
first, they're the first one to opt
States
out.
changing the rules, yeah.
There'll be more opting out, but that'll be the
Yeah.
first.
So at what point, when people start opting out like that, do we just stop it at some point? Like, let's say if like everybody in compliance, like a business gets an exemption. So like, at what point?
Well, I mean,
I maybe.
Yeah, I get it, and I-
At what
we were
point do you
thinking
just
that.
say,
it's a fair question, but the problem would be that, I guess I would wait. I'd argue against that because it's still more fair having the hospital, for instance, get a bill for their stormwater. I don't want to help them pay for their sewer or electric bill either. And so as a taxpayer right now, like Brendan had done this very short example of, all right, this house right here would pay $220, I think it was, for this stormwater work versus $50 your fee. Because at least at this point, those nonprofits are paying their share of a utility. And at that time, ag was too, which is why I also argued against that. Ag still contributes poorly in some cases to some stormwater, so it's more fair to assess it the other way. So until you get to that point, and once we have, somebody who crunches a lot of numbers, they can decide for you guys as a whole whether or not it's
Well,
cost
I
effective.
think you're talking about fairness here, but there's nothing fair about an unfunded mandate in the state.
So absolutely, I would preface that with
Just
your.
like someone.
Yeah.
The town should push back against the state and say, look, if you guys are gonna do this, you guys need to come up with the funding for it. 39 million, here, that gets us 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
You're gonna blow money on, you're gonna spend $4.5 million, $5 million on an 8-bed facility down there.
I know,
Yeah.
I agree,
But-
I agree.
Spend money where you are saying money needs to be spent. Somebody should tell them. I just like I just feel like the like for me, for instance, over on McQuam Shore. I don't know why, I don't know why the people on McQuam Shore are paying for the people up in the city's stormwater. It just doesn't make sense. I have to pay for mine. I'm saying, I'm using myself to speak for myself, but everyone should feel the same way, like if my sewer system screws up, I'm not coming to the town asking you to, hey, can you chip in $8,000? Cause I got a $25,000 project going on. I'm belling it up 25,000 or whatever it is. So I think the shoes,
I don't think it's sewer.
I'm just saying the maintenance of my facilities on my property are my problem.
Right, mine too.
And the state, and if the state's gonna come in and say, you need to do this, this and this, then the state should bring the money with them so that I don't have to pay for my stuff plus somebody else's stuff.
A lot of it came down initially because we were told and remember we told us that we were gonna pay millions and millions of dollars in MS4.
Right, that was like 5 or 10 years ago.
And it had to do with urban or rural runoff. And I don't think we challenged the fact that we're not urban, we're rural. And then it just, I got went on the road.
Well, I'm just making observations. So I just think I think it is unfair for property owners that have nothing, that aren't impacting that and don't have much to do with it, to have to pay for somebody else's short-sightedness. That's all.
Anything else?
That's all I got. Should be enough.
Is that within the 12 minutes?
12 minutes on that one alone.
Jen will
We're
let us
good.
know on the meeting.
We don't have a timekeeper. So, I mean, if there's no other questions, you guys can send them to me individually. I mean, the budget is one page, fairly straightforward, and we obviously don't have the revenues. Yeah, the revenues yet. I think we kind of killed it, at least for now.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, John.
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
At least we know you're not sitting around with your feet up on the desk.
It's a very good report.
Very good.
Yeah, very thorough.
Appreciate it.
All right, so the next item on here is C, Town Hall Meeting Room Rental Policy. Have the draft. We revised it a little bit, as a result of last meeting's discussion. Although I know we didn't spend a ton of time on it, because the first part of that meeting was full. Did I capture all the changes you wanted, and are you ready to approve?
Yep, I think I just had one, Carrie, just a minor thing. Group size is less than 15, but should be less than or equal to 15, just because the next one is 16 up, so.
So under group size, it should say less than 15?
Less than or equal
Oh,
to,
equal to.
yeah, so if you have 15 people.
Okay,
that
yep,
would be in there,
correct.
so,
Okay, that's a teacher. I think.
yes, it's hard to skip over
It's
that.
fine,
and say
no,
something.
I don't want somebody wondering. so.
Yep, no, that's
Good.
perfect. I mean, I didn't see anything else that I thought we needed to change. I think you captured it. Small groups, especially if it's town residents, are basically free if it's during the day, right?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, and maybe I missed it. Did we talk something? I mean, well, just no one's gonna be able to come down and have a meeting every single day. Right. Right?
Right.
It does say in there, right?
Yeah, there's a limit, 2 per month, I think it was.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure. I guess I didn't see.
Yeah, we didn't want somebody basically using it as their office full time. I mean, we do want to be able to use the room ourselves.
Yep, okay. Al?
I would say whoever that.
It is, it's the town residents' responsibility to take care of the room, and if you want to have a meeting, you can have a meeting. With, as long as there's food. If there's food, there's a fee. Cleaning fee. But yes, it could be that. Yeah, we're not making any judgment on why you're having a meeting.
You think that 2 meetings a month is too many, or?
We can always.
We can amend it later.
Yeah, we can see how the demand is and you can amend a policy once a month. I mean,
Yep.
I hope you don't, but you could.
The only thing there, Jeff, is I could see a group
Yeah.
where they maybe meet once every 6 months and then they had a meeting and they needed a follow-up.
Sure.
Or something.
That's fine.
I mean, obviously we could.
That's per group.
Per group, I think, you know.
Somebody all of a sudden needing a third meeting. Force a select board meeting.
All right, I guess any other discussion or questions if there before we? All right, anyone want to make a motion to accept it with, I think, just the one change of the mathematical symbol? So we'll, thank you. Any
Second.
second, thank you. Any other discussion on the motion?
That was Jonathan and then Jack is the second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, nice have it. And that goes into effect right now, Carrie?
It sure does. Do you need a meeting tomorrow?
We have one for
Thursday, yes.
Thursday.
Sign it out.
We do actually have some meetings scheduled, so.
More than 15 people?
No, it's just more of
Wow.
Are we gonna have like a little virtual on the website, like meeting rooms, like? Yeah, like a little schedule
Availability or
for the public.
Right now Jen's been doing it, but we could.
You know, as this gets going, just something to think about. So if somebody says, oh, if we could rent that room, they can just check and see if it's open on that day.
without bugging
Maybe,
somebody.
but then they'll want to know if they can sign up there and we're not ready to do that because we have to explain to someone how to lock the door and unlock the door. You know, collect the fee. and-
During when it was open.
Sorry, if it's during the daytime, yes, but we are gonna allow some at night, so. But yeah, we could put that in and just have it, white or black if it's busy and.
You still have to call them there.
We have the technology. I don't know how to do it myself,
At least you
but
can
we can
see
get
if
it.
it's open.
Yep, I agree with that. Al?
for the security. If you want, yeah. A few years I've been said, just make sure the curious about whether or not they're on top, they're okay and not. One thing, something. Wouldn't it be better if both of you go into Congress and contact you and represent why we as a public people, but you know nothing about. Whereas if you said. Well, you just gives her a clue that X, Y, Z is something that, something we wouldn't, she can ask other questions and provide and get, I just didn't need a discussion of it.
We weren't talking, I wasn't at least
No,
talking
just
about,
like see if the room was open and.
right, just an availability calendar. Cause you're right, I would like to have a little.
Except that's kind of on the application sheet, just what's your company or business?
Oh, yeah.
We could amend that to the name of the group or purpose. of the
Yeah,
group.
there's only like 2 or 3 meetings planned.
I don't-
Yeah, like Lake Champlain Basin.
All right,
Very good.
anything else on that, you carry?
No, nothing else on that. Thank you very much. I'll write that other thing down. So, D was just being copied on an Act 250 permit. So that brings us to our amended item, the grant, the bike ped project. Gave more of an explanation than we needed to at the beginning of the meeting, but we're talking about applying for a grant to cover the Route 7 North.
Just scoping.
Scoping
right?
study. That's trying to get the sidewalk extended from the city to the north end of town.
Yeah, but I know this has been a big project out there, this one here. When I first joined the select board a few years ago, I think that my first meeting was an updated bicycle and pedestrian plan for the town. It's not the one in front of us. And this went from, I think, the #1 project down to maybe 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. The #1 plans were the ones that we just decided to fund a few meetings ago. So the ones up on South Main Street leading into the city, obviously the one down here. I just approached by, I forget the group, but he's the teacher at BFA who is trying to lead a group to try to get, again, some funding and try to organize it. Like everyone else, they reached out to the city to get it done and without regard to the fact that it's in the town. So it turned us just about a week or 2 ago, and Megan and Carrie have really been looking into it to see if it's something that we can do. Even though they're already booked, Megan thought she might be able to get this done before the deadline of June 9th. So that's why I asked Carrie if she thought it was, worth bringing to everybody, and she thought it was, so. This is, sorry, it's just, I guess, a brief intro, Carrie, before I'll turn it back over to you, but.
No,
It's
that's
just
well
focus
said, and that's,
project, well,
right.
just to have that info, it's a 20-80 match, so we put up 20, they match 80.
Mhm.
Again, just a way to try to try to use as much of state and federal money as we can to accomplish the goals that we want to do anyway, so. Here it is here. I think we just need consensus or vote to allow me to sign the letter to apply, if that's the case, is that?
Right, I mean, our policy does ask the select board to approve grant applications. We forced Dave to come forward and rush some things because we want you at least on board and supportive of it before we apply. I don't want to have to turn down a grant if you adamantly opposed to it later. Right. So yes, I would love a letter of support. If you support this grant, we could apply for it. Know that the St. Albans, I think it's Walkability or Walk St. Albans or something like that group supports this. They've been pushing this for, 5 to 8 years, maybe.
I'm not sure. Could be. I mean, we've had folks come to our meetings here.
Correct. Yep.
Push for that as well. I mean, it's, again, I like the other projects we have.
Mhm. And we're
Those
pushing
are
those
great
as well.
benefit to town, especially town folks who are under 18 years old. This one here would probably help a lot of town folks, would certainly help anyone walking. That's a dangerous road. It's at nighttime, it's dangerous. There's 1 or 2 people that are lucky that I saw them at the last moment over the last few years. And
This is,
out of the way.
but this letter is in support of a scoping study.
Correct.
We aren't laying concrete.
No.
It's not a construction.
Getting the study. yeah.
Correct, it is.
Kind of like what Dave, you were talking about, right, from here to go over to the Bay Park.
Right.
Right, just that study to see what it would cost and everything.
Absolutely.
So, I believe that's.
Yes.
No, I think that's what it is. It'd be great.
Yeah, but studies, as Sean just said, studies unlock funding. So we need this to go for the bigger money, other people's money, as Dave says as well. We'll allow someone else to help us pay for that.
Mhm. Yeah. So, all right, any other questions or discussion? I don't want to make a motion to, what's the motion to have me sign the?
Letter of support.
It's just letter of support.
Mhm.
I make a motion that Brian signed the letter of support to support the scoping study.
So, any seconds? Second. Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Thanks. All right, we're done with that. Gary, are we? up to
That's it
schedule?
for my part of the report, right? We need to go on to schedule. Do you want me to go over that or do you want to go over it?
Oh, I can. Yeah, that's fine. All right, schedule.
one's fine.
Next select board meeting will be on Wednesday, June 21st. Again, that's in recognition of Juneteenth, which will be on Monday. Again, it's crazy. Just a couple of years ago, it was kind of something that came up. Now it's a federal holiday. So that's why we have it on that Wednesday. Just mark the calendar there. And then the next one is Monday, July 3rd. Both of those are at 6:30 here at Town Hall. Next thing that was on there of note, again, is just Bay Day and the Great Race on Sunday, July 2nd. So hope everyone can come down to that. That'll be great. Anything else, Carrie, on schedule?
All right, now, if you have.
This Saturday's thing going on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Touch
You
the
wanna
truck.
Mention that again, Jeff?
No, because I don't know the details, but I know there's something
Well,
going
it's-
on this
It's
Saturday.
at Town Hall, 12 to 2.
Town garage.
Town garage, town garage. Not gonna, they're not all gonna fit down here. But again, touch a truck and open house at the
At DPW. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be awesome. And food, you said? You're cooking? Okay. All right, good. Perfect.
That's
Um,
better.
Anything else on schedule from anybody? Didn't miss anything. All right, chair's report, just short here. I just had a couple of things. Obviously, we mentioned Juneteenth already, and it's, again, it's great. It's something that came up and it was, really out there a few years ago. It's great that it's federal holiday and that's awesome. Happy Pride Month as well for June. And then the other piece here is just, I did have and it actually wasn't even a resident of the town, but someone who thought it'd be a great idea to put one of those, small self-serve library boxes that you sometimes see. I know they have them at the recreation department. People have them outside their house. I just mentioned it to Carrie and Megan, and of course, it's at Bay Park, so now there's historical stuff. So there's a lot of things that need to be taken care of if we wanted to put something like that here. So, so you can, some people will build these, I don't know, it's like a box.
Like big birdhouses.
Yes,
Yeah, like a big birdhouse that. Yeah,
yes.
the idea is that someone's gonna start it and they'll put a bunch of old books in there. The idea is you can go up and take a book out, you don't have to pay for it, just take it honor system, and the idea is you either return it or maybe put another book in. So it's just it takes up very little space. My question isn't so much about, let's go ahead and get it at the Bay Park, but it could be a better place. I don't know, maybe it's at Town Hall, or maybe DPW. Guys go out on their break and grab a book. But that, and then just what the process is. Because I know someone else had mentioned or approached us before about putting scoreboards down at Bay Park for the softball, which is great. But again, it's not quite as easy as that, right? Great idea, put some scoreboards up, but there's a lot to it.
Anything we would play on. In addition to standard.
Okay, so, and this is something we can come back to as a select board, but I didn't know if it's something where. The process is such, and we feel strongly that we want something like that at Bay Park, so let's move forward with that, or should it be somewhere else, or should it be, these are great things to have on people's private front yards, so. Just wanted to we don't have to discuss it much more than that, but that's, it's amazing when we want to put something small like that up somewhere that there's so much, I don't want to say red tape, but so much permit.
If you're gonna put something like that at the Bay Park, you'd have to get a permit for that?
Yeah, every time we even put in a sign, it's in our deed, it's an easement, a deed restriction.
Well, that's what I mean, Jeff. It's like, oh yeah, it seems pretty, talk to Dave or John, see where we can put it.
That's-
So, no, hold on, there's permits. and stuff.
It's not impossible, but we do have to ask them first. Like, we did an archaeological study there. We know where the sensitive areas of the park are, so we will avoid that. But one of them's near the softball fields. So, but they said they would expedite our permit now that we did this archaeological study.
Do it in under 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know what expedite means, but they will work with us.
What's the old saying? It's better to ask for forgiveness.
No, you did that.
We did that.
You got
We
6
can't-
years of permits to
We
get.
can't do that anymore.
Who's on your back?
Uh,
Oh gee, I needed a permit for that.
So maybe Carrie will just put it on the agenda for next time and just.
Next,
All right.
the next select board meeting.
Next slide.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think that was it. That's all I wanted to touch
Okay.
on.
I just want to know in the packets, there was the LOT revenue for fiscal year 2023. It was about $20,000 more than last year. The total was $1,095,601.49. So.
Wait till the moon
Thank you.
watchers get here. We'll do that in one weekend.
Moonwalkers.
Moon watchers,
Moonwatchers.
yeah.
Or the eclipse, as the
Sun
rest of
watchers.
us are calling
Is
it.
it sun, moon, whatever.
It's an
I'm gonna be sleeping.
It's both of them, working together.
It is.
Anyone else have any business? No, all right, well, I think we'll so we just got our other business to do. Anyone want to make a motion on that? Read the executive session?
I can do that if you want.
Please, Jeff.
All right, here we go.
It's right, at least it's right there now.
I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss a contractual and personnel matter where premature general public knowledge of the subject matter would place the town or person involved at a substantial disadvantage. It is further moved to enter into executive session to discuss a contractual and personal matter
Recording stopped.
under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of this Vermont statute, and invite in Sean Akins, Carrie Johnson, and Al Bojel to join us.
Thank you. Any seconds?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
I.
Thank you. All right.